Okay, now coming to this third graph, this is the graph, like the first question will be comment on the graph. So you should always start with saying this is the graph depicting the effect of two successive stimuli on muscle contraction. So if we look at this one, say this is the first stimulus, first it has been marked over here. See, if you are getting this type of the graph, this lower line, it always says, like, say when there is a flickering over here, it means we are providing the stimulus. This is the first stimulus and this is the second stimulus, and the upper line, it is what the effect we are getting. So effect is we are getting the contraction and the relaxation phase, right? So actually this is the simple muscle twitch. The issue with this one is why we are getting the simple muscle twitch like this way, because we have reduced the speed of the drum, right? Speed of the drum, so that we can easily appreciate the effect. So we have reduced the speed of the drum. Initially at this point we provided the stimulus, we got the contraction phase, and in the midway of the relaxation phase, when the relaxation phase is still not complete, we have provided the second stimulus. So what is the effect we are getting? Before it gets completely relaxed, we have provided the second stimulus, so obviously the contraction has started beforehand. Before this relaxation phase is getting completed, we have provided the stimulus, so it won't complete, rather there will be starting of the contraction phase. And what we see, that this height is increased, this is additive effect, and then it will come downward, right? So what is the effect of the successive stimuli? Now, as I told you in the previous slide, the refractive period is with respect to the action potential, the electrical event. It's not with respect to this one contraction relaxation phase, that mechanical event. If we look at this one, say, let me see, where is that, this one. See, if you look over here, this is the red line, show the action potential. This is depolarization, this is repolarization. So the refractive period, absolute refractive period, is entire of the depolarization and initial 1/3 of the repolarization, and this one from the end of the 1/3 of the repolarization to the total end, the complete end of the repolarization, that is the relative refractive period. So this entire absolute refractive period as well as the relative refractive period, this falls in which phase of the mechanical event? In the latent phase, right? But we are providing the stimulus either during the contraction phase or during the relaxation phase. So in the given diagram, what we did, we took the, see, the one sec, this one, we are providing the second stimulus during the relaxation phase. So obviously it is not falling in the refractive period, that's why we are getting the additive effect. So there is increase in the height. Now what is this? Why there is increase in the height? See, this is called as summation of stimulus. We can also say it summation, means summed up, the additive effect. Now if we talk about the summation, there are two type of the summation of the stimuli, and the second is summation of contraction. In summation of the stimuli means it can be demonstrated by applying the multiple subthreshold. If we provide the subthreshold stimulus, multiple subthreshold stimulus, to produce a particular muscular response, that is called as summation of the stimuli. And this diagram, it is the summation of the contraction. It means What does it mean? It means the increase in the actual magnitude of the contraction. Increase in the actual magnitude of the contraction as a result of multiple stimulation. See, the actual response has increased. Why it has increased? Because of stimulus provided by two successive stimulus, 1 and 2. Before it got completely relaxed, we already provided the second stimulus, so it got added up, and this is called as beneficial effect. Beneficial effect. What is beneficial effect? Beneficial effect means, see, it is the second contraction phase, it is getting a head start. We can call it getting the head start. कि आपने रनिंग स्टार्ट करी है, आप जैसे इनिशियली स्टार्ट करते हो तो एक कांस्टेंट फेज में हो एंड यू हैव स्टार्टेड रनिंग, सो यू हैव टू इंक्रीज द टेम्परेचर ऑफ द मसल. आप कांस्टेंट फेज में हो, स्टेशनरी फेज में हो, कांस्टेंट स्टेशनरी फेज में, योर मसल आर नॉट वर्किंग. So initially when you start running, first of all there will be inertia, right? Inertia of being stationary. That is the one reason. The second is the viscosity and the resistance of the muscle. Because you were in a stationary condition, there will be more viscosity and more resistance of the muscle. So आपने कहा कि आपने रनिंग स्टार्ट करी, काफ़ी देर से वहाँ खड़े हो, पहला एक राउंड लेके आए आप ग्राउंड का, अब इमीडिएटली दूसरा राउंड लिया, तो दूसरे वाले राउंड में कंपैरेटिवली फर्स्ट वाले राउंड के कम रेजिस्टेंस होगा. रीज़न, फर्स्ट वाले में इनर्शिया ऑफ स्टेशनरी था, सेकंड विस्कोसिटी इंक्रीज थी. अब आप फर्स्ट राउंड, यू हैव ऑलरेडी कंप्लीटेड द फर्स्ट राउंड, सो देर इज इंक्रीज इन द टेम्परेचर, बॉडी टेम्परेचर, like the temperature if we talk about the contracting muscle. So if the temperature of the contracting muscle has increased, there is reduction in the viscosity and there is a little bit increase in the metabolic activity. कि आप कहते हैं ना कि वार्म अप हो गए हैं. सो सेकेंड स्टिमुलस जब आपने प्रोवाइड किया है तो ऑलरेडी द मसल वाज वार्म्ड अप, सो दोज एडिटिव इफेक्ट विल बी देयर. देयर विल बी लेस इनर्शिया, देयर विल बी इंक्रीज इन द टेम्परेचर, there will be decrease in the internal viscosity, and most important one, the release of the more calcium from the sarcoplasmic reticulum. जो पहला आपने स्टिमुलस प्रोवाइड किया, it traveled along the T tubule, reached to the ryanodine receptor, activated them, then opened up those calcium channel, and those calcium channel, opening of the calcium channel will ultimately result into movement of the calcium from sarcoplasmic reticulum to the cytoplasm. वो already open up है. So these four are the reasons for the beneficial effect you get. First is release of more calcium for the sarcoplasmic reticulum. First you should always answer release of more calcium from sarcoplasmic reticulum. Second, you can say there is increase in the temperature of the muscle. Third, because of the increase in temperature of the muscle, there is decrease in the viscosity and resistance. Fourth, there is decrease in the inertia of the recording lever. जिससे आप रिकॉर्ड कर रहे थे, जब मार्किंग आ रही थी, पहले वो स्टेशनरी कंडीशन में, वो ऑलरेडी मूव कर रहा है. सो ऑल दीज एडिटिव इफेक्ट विल एड अप एंड इंक्रीज द एम्पलीट्यूड ऑफ दिस वन. सो दैट इज द बेनिफिशियल इफेक्ट, एंड you are providing this stimulus not in the refractive period. The examiner will always ask you, like, say, what about the refractive period? Refractive period is already during the latent period, right? During the latent period. So there can be, the examiner might ask you, like, if the second stimulus, if it falls, the second stimulus, if it falls during the latent period, there won't be any additional response. If the second stimulus falls during either the contraction phase or the relaxation phase, obviously there will be the summation of the effect. So if we look at this diagram, say this one, So, if we look at this diagram, what we see is we are providing two stimulus, right? We are providing two stimulus. In the first picture, S1 is first stimulus, S2 is second stimulus. So, in the first A picture, we are providing the second stimulus during the latent period. So, there won't be any additive effect of the second stimulus. The muscle will, we will get the simple muscle twitch like this way if we just provide the one stimulus or we provide both stimulus during the latent period. If we provide the second stimulus during the contraction phase, what is happening? This contraction was happening because of the first stimulus, and before the contraction phase is over, we provided the second stimulus. So, instead of it was supposed to come downward from this point, it added up and increased the amplitude. In the third diagram, we are providing the second stimulus during the relaxation phase, right? Say this is upward, and as soon as it started relaxation phase started, we provided the second stimulus. So, what happened? Before the relaxation phase was over, we provided the second stimulus. It means before the relaxation phase is over, the contraction phase started, and the amplitude is more, right? In the fourth one, we provide the second stimulus after the, we can say, half of the relaxation phase is over, right? So, these are the effect of the successive stimuli. In what phase? We can say there are the three phases. We can say one is during the latent period, one is during the contraction period, and the other one is at the relaxation period. So, we won't get any effect during the latent period. During the contraction and relaxation period, there will be increase in the amplitude, due to the beneficial effect, right? Beneficial effect. And what are the reasons for the causes of the beneficial effect? That we all know. Increase in the release of more calcium, increase in the temperature of the muscle, which will result in decrease in the internal viscosity and decrease in the inertia of this muscle, the series elastic component, as well as the recording lever.